The rainy train station, goodbye. The war had been cruel to many, but for Lily and James, it had also been the setting of an unforgettable love. They met in the middle of chaos, Lily, a nurse tending to the wounded, and James, a soldier on leave. In those stolen moments, they built a world of their own, one where laughter and love could exist despite the horror surrounding them. But war is not kind to lovers. The night before James was redeployed, they stood under the flickering lamplight of the village train station. Rain poured relentlessly, drenching them as they clung to each other. "Promise me," Lily whispered, her voice trembling. "When the war ends, meet me here, no matter what." James cupped her face, his eyes burning with determination. "I promise, I'll find you, Lily." As the train pulled away, he leaned out of the window, his eyes locked on hers until he disappeared into the rain. The war ended. Lily returned to the station every day for weeks, waiting. But James never came. She searched for him, wrote letters, and clung to the hope that he was alive. Eventually, reality set in. Perhaps he had forgotten, perhaps he couldn't return, or perhaps... Decades passed. Lily built a life of her own, marrying a kind man who loved her fiercely. Yet, a part of her always remained at that rainy train station, waiting for James. One autumn evening, now in her late 50s, Lily found herself at the same station, the air heavy with nostalgia. The rain was falling again, just as it had all those years ago. She noticed a man sitting alone on a bench, his head bowed as if lost in thought. There was something familiar about him, the way he held himself, the slope of his shoulders. As if pulled by an invisible force, she approached him. "Excuse me," she began hesitantly. The man looked up, and the world seemed to stop. His face was older, his hair streaked with grey, but those eyes, they were the same. "Lily," he said, his voice barely audible over the rain. Her breath caught. "James." The years melted away as they stared at each other, the memories flooding back like a tidal wave. "I came back," he said, his voice breaking. "I came here after the war, but you weren't here." "I was," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I came every day for weeks." James closed his eyes, pain etched into his features. "They kept me in a hospital for months. I couldn't write, couldn't leave. By the time I made it here, I thought you'd moved on." Lily's heart ached. "And so you did too." "I tried," he admitted, "but no one was you." The rain continued to fall as they sat together on the bench, their shared past stretching out between them. They spoke for hours, piecing together the fragments of their story. When the train arrived, James stood, his hand lingering in hers. "I missed you, Lily, more than you'll ever know." "And I missed you, James," she replied, her voice thick with emotion. They didn't know what the future held or if they could reclaim what was lost. But as they left the station together, they felt something they hadn't felt in years: hope.